make sure they make decisions that will help our community, make sure that everyone makes it home safe and sound tonight, and then I'll ask this again. Amen.
Now call the meeting to order. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. If you have the cell phone, please turn it off. If you want to speak, raise your hand and wait until you're recognized. You do the roll call, Ms. Connie, please.
J.P. Deaton?
Here.
J.P. Olson?
Here.
J.P. Carroll? Here. J.P. Johnson? Here. J.P. Phillips?
Here.
J.P. Hicks? Here. J.P. Mack? Here. J.P. McNeely?
Here.
J.P. Hall?
Here.
J.P. Swofford?
Here.
J.P. Howardson?
Here. Next item of business is disposition of journal proceedings. If there's not any additions.
I've got one correction on the second page. There's a J.P. name check.
Yeah, I know, I corrected it already. Thank you.
There's also another error on that too. One of the JP is incorrect. That was Marty, I think it was Mary. His name was Mary, she was Marty.
Where is it at?
About the same place on that was, where it was checked, Olson, this is, it looks like, I think it's Mary, Johnson that had on that one.
I'll check it. I see J.P. Marty Johnson, but I don't know through it over here.
The first name was misspelled on that, same one that
All in favor of correcting it, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now then, there's no more objections. Would somebody approve the journal?
Judge, I'd like to make an addition. Got some business for the airport that needs to be looked at tonight, a resolution that I'd like to label as E.
E. Okay.
The paper is at each place. So the resolution that we're looking at.
Chuck?
Judge, I'd also like to add a ordinance, if I may, as F, about funding, budgetary funding for the new website that we have in the county.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
I would like to add a discussion on the end, first discussion. Personnel is one that's discuss finding someone who's would replace that board, and so if we could have a discussion period, get that G.
Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I think that was a change to the agenda when they did vote on the disposition journal proceeding. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next item of business is public comments. You have 3 minutes. Raise your hand if you wish to speak. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about County Road 324. I filed a freedom of information request with the county judge, and you said that the road was you lost your prescriptive easement. I don't believe that's the correct policy to close a road. I own 150 acres accessed by that road, My family owns 130 acres that road goes through. I don't believe the county is following the proper procedures.
Anything else?
If any of you would like to see my deeds, I have a deeded easement. Access to the roads will be open at all times. The county road foreman sent me pictures that said the road was, or there was no access. There is access. Thousands of people go down that road to access the Kings River. So,
Does it have some signs up for the road, no trespassing?
yeah, I have a sign on my
Or you
deed
can't
that
have
says
that
it's
on
open.
county road?
Yeah, well, it's there, and the last I got with your people, you're saying it's lost its prescriptive easement. I don't
Well, I was
believe
told by an attorney.
an attorney. Do you know the name of that attorney?
You can check one for yourself.
Was it the county's attorney?
It was from an attorney.
No.
You're free to check it yourself.
Well, I also asked for the names of the landowners and when the road was closed, and I got no response.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Next item of business, Matt, would you like to introduce?
Jeff Hatley is here to talk about the Ozark Regional Transit. Thank you, Jeff, for coming.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, my name is Jeff Hatley. I'm with Ozark Regional Transit. I'm the Public Information Officer. Here to give a brief periodic report and entertain any questions or comments or concerns. We have finally turned the corner from our major fire we had January 2017. We received a grant to replace the remaining 12 buses that weren't replaced with insurance proceeds, and we're in the process of receiving those now. We received 8 of those 12. Overall ridership is finally up to pre-2017 levels. We had 146,848 riders year to date, compared to only 133,135 year to date this time 2018. This is a 10.3% increase. Specifically for July, we've had 23,742 passengers, compared to only 17,423 for July 2018. That's largely due to what Fayetteville is doing. They've asked us to increase frequency there in the city, and obviously we have Razorback Transit. That creates a lot of synergy. And also they paid for our fare box, so people can ride in the city of Fayetteville, either us or Razorback Transit, totally free anywhere within Fayetteville. So that's really boosted our numbers there. In April of this year, represented the first time in 7 months that we carried over 1,000 passengers per day. Daily ridership for July was 1,084, which is very near our record highs we enjoyed back in 2016, right at 1,100 riders a day. In Carroll County and Bearville, we had 449 passengers in July alone, of which 2 were wheelchair bound. Carroll County specifically has had 180 passengers to date in 2019, compared to just 167 at the same time in 2018. Small numbers, but it is a 7% increase. Of the replacement buses funded by the FTA grant we received in April 2018, we received 8 of those, and they were all 29-footers. The remaining 4 are going to be 34-footers, and they're going to be put on the higher population and higher ridership routes there in Fayetteville and others, maybe one in Springfield. We've entered into a contract with an architectural engineering firm out of Fort Smith on our new administration building and information center. We received a grant for that back in September of 2018, and we hope to break ground on that in October of this year, hopefully finish that up by mid-summer. So things are really starting to turn the corner for us. Even in Bearville and Carroll County, we're starting to increase a little bit. Obviously, we'd like to see more numbers, but July, we had quite a few riders. So, I think that a lot of that stems from, I believe there was a specific daycare center, that there's an issue of, they required an alarm, special alarm on their buses, so that the bus driver had to physically go to the back of the bus and make sure there was no kids left on board. Public Transit's not required to have that, but in order to get those riderships, we went ahead and put that on the bus. So, That's all I've got for you, but I'm certainly happy to answer any questions or comments or
Yeah.
concerns.
Did you ever make, I know we've changed Veterans Administration officers again here, did you ever get hooked up with them, or?
I called, I emailed Alex Brown a couple times. Was she your current? Was she the old?
We got a new one now.
No, okay.
Newberry,
I checked before I came here, and I haven't received anything back from him. What's his name? What's his name?
Newberry,
Yeah.
What's his first name?
Yeah.
Jeffrey. I'll be able to remember that. It's just my name. All right, I'll reach out to him. All right.
yes, ma'am.
I'm just wondering with all the bike trails and everything, how many, most of your buses accommodate bicycles? Are you having a lot of business with that kind of?
The buses that we're getting now will all have bicycle racks. In the last few years, we've had to make do with buses from Wichita Transit and Dallas and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Springfield Express up in Springfield, Missouri. We've been making do with borrowed buses, and so some of them had bicycle racks and some of them didn't. And what that happens is when a person comes expecting to have a bicycle rack and there's not one, they find other ways to get around. Now, we accommodated them by letting them bring the bicycle on the bus itself, but as you can imagine, putting them on a rack outside as opposed to holding the thing up and trying to keep that tire from touching anybody, obviously we prefer a bicycle rack. So all the buses coming in now, every one of them's got bicycle racks.
Okay. Other question, remind me again on the on-demand, what does it cost? Is it like, depending where you're going here in Carroll County?
In Carroll County, it's a little bit different. It's based on how far the ride is, and I don't have a map with me, but it's like, the typical answer, it's $2.50 a ride. So I would say the first 5 or 6 miles is probably $2 or $2.50. After that, the next 10 miles is probably another $1, and then if you go like 20 miles above, it's like $4 or $5.
And how do most people in Carroll County even know it exists? I mean, is it something they have to look into? Do you advertise or try to get that information out to people?
Since we've had our fire, I've had zero budget.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I've actually still got a job. I figured I would be the first one to go. I'm not exactly the rubber hits the road, but the main thing I've done here, obviously Jay, our driver here, is our best resource, but I've got brochures at the senior center and at the city hall. And I've gone around and talked to just thrift stores and things like that, typical places that we typically pick up passengers in other communities. But that's all.
Is there a way we could get a link on our webpage? So we get some kind of information, say, hey, with phone number or something, say, I knew about it. Is that possible?
That's a great idea.
Okay.
That's an idea I should have followed.
Anyone else? Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks, Al.
Jeff?
Next item is old business, we have none, so we'll move on to new business. Number 8. John, would you read that resolution, please?
A resolution authorizing the Carroll County, Arkansas Quorum Court to its county judge to enter into a grant agreement with the Federal Aviation Administration for an airport layout plan, update, and narrative report process. Said project, styled AIT 3-055-018-018-2019 at Carroll County Airport. Resolved, the Carroll County Quorum Court, at the recommendation of the Carroll County Airport Commission, desires to enter into a grant with the Federal Aviation Administration for purposes to conduct an airport layout plan, update, and narrative report for the Carroll County Airport. The grant, number as I read, shall consist of approximately $220,409 payable from funds of the U.S. government and approximately $24,490 payable from funds of the Arkansas Department of Aeronautics. Further resolved that the county judge, on behalf of the Carroll County Quorum Court, is authorized to sign the grant agreement and take whatever actions necessary to implement the grant. So moved.
John moved to adopt, here a second.
I'll see it.
Matt, second. Any discussion? John?
This is, Actually, what this is funding is a survey of the airport that surround these grants. To receive grants in the future, the Federal Aviation Administration has to know how the airport lays and how the land surrounding it lays. We need a chance to get grants for updates in the future. So it's 100% grant, part of it coming from the federal, part of it from us, or aeronautics. So county's out nothing.
Anyone else? Call for the vote.
J.P. Deaton,
Yes.
J.P. Olson,
Yes.
J.P. Farrell. Yes. J.P. Johnson. Yes. J.P. Phillips.
Yes?
J.P. Hicks. J.P. Matt. Yes. J.P. McNeely.
Yes.
J.P. Hall.
Yes.
J.P. Crawford.
Yes.
J.P. Howard.
Yes.
Next item of business is our ordinance. Will you read it, Ms. Collins, please?
An ordinance regulating nuisance, maintenance of premises, and disturbing noises.
Okay,
You moved it up.
yeah.
2 seconds. Chuck, any discussion?
I'd like to tell you about this, this is the same property that, the kid named a couple of years ago came and talked to us about. His neighbor has a pile of dogs, and, I went out there and did Friday after work, tried to talk to the guy, and, I drove by and all over to the Korean, and they come back and went all over this way, and, I always saw somebody out in the warehouse, from here to the Ozark Cafe, and I say, you know where a bunch of barking dogs, I said, oh, yeah, over there somewhere, I can hear, but I don't know about where the house is. So I drove back, and I was almost through past it up, because the driveway was so growing up with weeds and bushes and stuff, but I rolled my window down and turned the AC off, because it was hot and everything, but what the heck, I heard the dogs pulled in there, and, it's unbelievable. There's not a bunch of kids in there, but they're almost collapsing in there. The dogs are jumping around, running this way. I counted like 12 or 15 in the pens. There's a big old hound dog right outside, chained to a stump, and there's no water or food bowls out there for that big hound dog. And then, I went ahead and made a quick recording, just to give you this is just a small smidgen of how loud it was. But anyway, I went to the front porch, and I was going to knock on the door and talk to the homeowner. Well, since last couple of years ago, he's got a big old pit bull, chained up with the biggest chain you ever seen on a pit bull to the steps to his front porch. And I saw a lot of dog chains at work and chains for, and that chain is not decent for a swing set, but that's a big old pit bull. And so anyway, I let the dogs bark for 10 minutes, and I thought, well, they would come out. They never come out. And then I went and looked at them again, and there's 2 or 3 just running loose. And then one was tied to another pine tree, and no bowls around it. But the thing is Natasha, she just recently bought the house next door. And the real estate agent told her that there's such a bad problem next door. And when I go by and go back, all these yards are immaculate. And people are sitting out there in the shades and stuff, and beautiful houses and yards. And of course, this place looks like a tornado hit it with torn tarps and everything all around. And but it was just an unbearable noise. The sheriff went out there and with the landlord talked to the guy, and long time ago, but there, without any kind of orders or any kind of protection for the nearby neighbors, there's nothing they could do. We thought we found the ordinance law back, but then we found out it got repealed. And so that's why Mr. Thomas has rewritten this, and I think it covers a lot of great topics of what's wrong, and does exclude farm animals, normal farm animals and stuff, and ostriches or emus, if you had those, excludes them and stuff. But
everybody knows, 99.99% of Carroll County citizens are not going to really have this kind of problem next door. And so it's not really affecting a whole lot of people, but it's protecting somebody that does have that problem, where the people that have a dog is not taking care, or a bunch of dogs, they take care of it proper, and they're making a big problem. So I was hoping that, to protect the citizens of Carroll County, that we get this passed, because without that, they have no recourse. And I don't know if this guy thinks he's rescuing these dogs or what, but maybe do better off in wild, running with coyotes than what they're in the position they're in now. So, but sometimes you just have to unfortunately make a rule up or rule with people and do something about it. So that's what I would have to say about it. Anybody got any questions?
I'm not against having an ordinance on animal control, which is basically what this is. I'm concerned that the county doesn't have the resources to adequately take care of the problem. Now, if you read the ordinance, I'm assuming that this is gonna fall in the duties of the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
And this ordinance gives the sheriff's office the ability to write a ticket for $100. But the problem is still there after the ticket's written. We don't have an animal control officer. Maybe that's something we can look at in the future, I don't know, maybe it's something we could try to get into an agreement with the cities. We don't have a shelter for these animals. If there's a vicious dog, and it has to be removed, where are we gonna take it? What are we gonna do with it? I'm not against having an ordinance to help people out in the county, but I hope that we have the resources. I would like to, ask Captain Contreras to speak just a little bit on the sheriff's office's side on this issue. Like I said, I'm not against it, but what it's gonna put on them.
JP just brought. Basically, it's just like JP Hicks had said, I foresee this ordinance, and there again, we completely agree with an animal ordinance, because it is a pain. But I foresee our call volume probably getting close to doubling, because we handle a lot of animal calls right now. The issue that we're gonna run into is, yes, I can issue a citation. We can fine someone $100, and as long as the judge says that $100 fine is sufficient, it's justified, we're good. Our other question is when my deputy goes out to his call to these animal issues, and we go talk to the neighbor, and the neighbor says, it's that guy's dog over there. When my deputy goes and talks to that guy over there, and he says, it's not my dog, I can't even issue a citation at that point. So I think that it goes from us being overwhelmed when we're already understaffed, because our call volume keeps increasing all the time, to now I have a removal problem, and I have nowhere to go with it. I have nothing that I can do again. There again, we don't disagree with the ordinance at all, other than the fact that we need to be able to have something that we can do with this animal.
Chip's next, I believe.
I had a similar problem with one of my neighbors a year ago. Fortunately, they moved back to Alabama. Well, they had 5 dogs in the backyard pen, and that's all the dogs did is bark. And of course, then you always have some neighbors' dogs that go down there and torment them, which we had too, so they would bark even more. And there was nothing that we could do, and they're just constantly a problem. So I think we need something. And I think this is a good start, $100 fine. We're not talking about removal here, we're just talking about writing a citation, having them go to court, and then pay a $100 fine. And so I think it's a good start.
Mr. Hicks?
Well, part of the ordinance is vicious animals. So when you deal with vicious animals, I mean, you technically could have a removal. I do think that in the future we need to look at trying to get something where we're, get with the cities and see if we can become a part of that. And also, second, I don't know that an ordinance, I don't know that it has to be the sheriff's office that issues that. I think that possibly it could be like the cities where the county judge could appoint whoever he wanted to write an ordinance ticket. I know the mayor can appoint somebody to write a city ordinance ticket. It doesn't have to be the police department.
Okay.
Well, this thing come up many years ago, Hollow Allen gave his time, which wasn't me, but anyway, they brought it in, it failed for exactly the same reason. And, it's a start. And like I said, at that time, they turned it down because of the same reason they didn't want to deal with trying to collect them, but, I think it's a good start.
Larry's next.
I've got one part here that bothers me a little bit, and I'm always the one on property owner's rights. So on that second paragraph, it says an ordinance regulating nuisance, maintenance of premises, and disturbing noises. Now, you get on down here, then it goes talking about dogs and animals and whatever, but up here in this line, it just says maintenance of premises.
I think he's talking about the title, under the title.
Yeah, under the
How
title.
it's titled versus how it reads.
And that could be twisted quite a few ways.
Ron?
I was going to ask if Natasha could say something about this piece of one that lives there, and if it's okay for the court, or this is for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Hello, for you all that don't know me, I'm Natasha G., the property owner, of course, next to these people have all these animals. We had been looking for a house for a long time before we decided on this house out in the country. It seemed a really good deal, and maybe this was the reason why we got such a good deal. We didn't realize we were inheriting this dog problem. About 2 weeks after we'd already started the paperwork and signed the contracts, waiting on closing to hit, the lady comes in, because apparently the previous owner and the neighbors didn't get on for some time, and were fighting a lot about the animal situation next door. So she came into our office one day. She said, I'd like to introduce myself. I live at blah, blah, blah address. And I'm like, ooh, got my attention just like that, She's telling us, and a room full of people there, they have 40-plus dogs on the property. It's not 4 or 5 or 10. There are 40-plus dogs. They are not maintaining the cleanliness in their area. Sometimes the smell is so bad you can't go out in the backyard or the front yard, for that matter, depending on which way the wind's blowing. The noise, they bark at nothing for hours on end. Maybe because they're miserable, maybe because they're wanting the food and water. Like you said, there's no bowls outside. For a lot of them, they're tied up, chained up out front. I don't know why they bark all the time. Sometimes there'll be a period of silence and there's nothing for an hour or two. The barking is just one problem. They're dumping trash in between their property line and ours, which has caused us a lot of distress because it blows over onto our property. It's incontinence supplies, it's pet medicines, boxes and wrappers. There's a whole assortment of things in those bags. We hauled out 21 bags of trash at our expense to have that removed. Now, we're not trying to fight with the neighbors. We'd like to keep peace as much as we can. But they are not responsible for anything that goes on over there. There's nobody, no one has been able to make anyone liable for it. They are renters. They are not homeowners. Their landlord has talked to them on several occasions. He has hired people to go out and clean up stuff out of the yard because of the complaints about the situation in the past. We're not looking for anybody to have their dogs removed or anything like that. I mean, what they do with their dogs is their business. We just want them to keep their dogs in their area, keep them out of our yard, and even theirs. You have 3 acres plus of property for those dogs without them coming over where we are. Keep their trash cleaned up. So we're just kind of looking for somewhere to start. And I thought it was worded pretty well. I think because they were going by my list of concerns that I had, trying to come up with something that would be a start to implement change. We couldn't find any kind of ordinance that the landlord would be responsible for trash dumping or any kind of animal problem next door. They are in a residential area with 40-plus dogs. They told us they keep about 10 to 12 of them inside the house at all times. So there's just a lot going on there. And, I mean, I know you can't tell someone else on their own property how to live, but when it starts to affect you and your property and your family, and how you can go outside and enjoy your own surroundings, I mean, that's when it seems to become a problem for us. So, I'm up for any kind of suggestions that you guys might have. I mean, if we need to reword it, let's reword it. I'd be happy to sit down and talk to you about it. Whatever we need to do, if there's anything that can be done to try and make it a better situation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that something like this is needed. I do think for all the reasons that other people have mentioned, other JPs have mentioned, it does need to be rewritten, but I'm also concerned about the fact that it's a misdemeanor, which seems unnecessary. It should just maybe be an infraction. A misdemeanor is kind of a more serious deal. Also feel like there should be at least one warning, written into the ordinance where people are given some indication ahead of time, hey, get your act together or you're going to be fined. I think a misdemeanor might be able to come because, you talked about the problem continuing to exist, so the misdemeanor could be if there's 3 infractions within a certain time period, then maybe they could be issued a misdemeanor and fined $500 or something like that. But I do want to see a warning, and I do want to see it be an infraction instead of a misdemeanor for a first offense. And, and I agree with some of the other comments people have made.
The only problem I have here is that they've got that chase of vehicles. It's going to take you about 6 to 10 people full-time to police that. Because you go through the county, you're probably going to have about $2,000 or $3,000 of chasing cars. So who's going to police that? And it's like the chase of vehicles. That's you go down any county road, you get chased by. Every county road, you get chased by half a dozen dogs and everything. So I don't see how you're going to have anybody to police that.
Yes, ma'am.
I agree with everything, and I agree that it needs to be at least a start. The only thing I didn't see in here that I would like to see, maybe the city has some kind of ordinance about the mistreatment of the animals. That's just disgusting. I mean, all these dogs in this $100-degree heat, there needs to be some way of finding them for that or something. I mean, we shouldn't let people get by with the mistreatment of those animals, not being tied up. Maybe I don't know, if you could set a limit, no more than 10 dogs or 40 dogs, I mean, unless you're breeding, what's the...
Mr. Johnson?
Well, we talked about this before, and did the ASPCA ever come out there?
Excuse me?
Did the ASPCA ever come
No.
out there?
No,
They've been contacted?
not by me.
How about this stuff?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd just like to follow up on what I've said, because we have to look at how this ordinance will affect other situations in the future. So in this particular situation, a warning might seem unnecessary, but you might just have a situation where there's one dog who barks all night, and maybe the owner might not even be aware because they're out of town or whatever for that night. So that's why the warning idea is just because it could be used in all sorts of situations where it might be more important that the land owner might not realize how much of a nuisance it's being
Yeah.
to someone.
Is there a statute on the books now on animal cruelty?
Yeah.
That would fall under, I think there's more teeth involved than that, it would be in this ordinance, but anyway, in this particular case.
Larry?
I'm sure there's probably a state statute on animal cruelty, which would override any county unless the counties were stronger.
Yes.
Got some policemen back here might have some insight on that.
You are?
The policemen back here might have some insight on that, about that.
Which one you want to talk to?
Whichever one back there, both of them shake their heads.
I think it's 562-103, but I'm looking it up right now, for animal cruelty.
And if I remember correctly, the penalties on that is much more strenuous than what the ordinance is.
Anything else? Call for the vote.
J.P. Deaton,
Yeah, I'll go with it.
J.P. Olson,
Yes.
J.P. Farrell,
No.
J.P. Johnson,
No.
J.P. Phillips,
No.
J.P. Hicks,
No.
J.P. Mack,
Yes.
J.P. McNeely,
Yes.
J.P. Hall,
No.
J.P. Swafford,
No.
J.P. Howerton.
No.
Next item of business, new business is C. Would you read that, Mr. Conley, please?
A supplemental appropriation ordinance, amending ordinance number 2018-46, the 2019 budget ordinance to reimburse elections 1000-0109 for funds received by the county treasurer.
Chuck, you move to adopt.
Move to
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Farrell, I think second.
I'm sorry, who is?
Farrell.
Chuck?
Thank you.
What this is, Judge, is that this is money that is being reimbursed to the county from the school districts, from the school district election, from the school board elections. So, it's coming back from the county, to the county from the school district.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote.
J.P. Deaton?
Yes.
J.P. Olson?
Yes.
J.P. Farrell? Yes. J.P. Johnson?
Yes.
J.P. Phillips?
Yes.
J.P. Hicks?
Yes.
J.P. Mack? Yes. J.P. McNeely?
Yes.
J.P. Hall?
Yes.
J.P. Swafford?
Yes.
J.P. Howerton.
Yes.
Next item of business is D. Would you read that, Ms. Conley, please?
An ordinance authorizing the purchase of a 2015 John Deere 6105D tractor from Sam L. Barr for use by the road department and to declare an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Jack moved on adopted. Marty second. Any discussion, Jack?
Right up front, this goes into a little bit of a gray area. There's been a lot of research went into it. Jeannie back there did a lot of work on this thing, looked into it, and she went on a reputable website that sets prices of tractors and stuff along these lines. When our attorney looked at it, he was okay with it, and Jimmy has looked near and far and could not find a good deal. The ones we thought was a good deal, he looked at these tractors and there was a piece of junk. And so we're down to the point that we've got to have this tractor, we've got the money for the sales of the scrap metal, and I think we need to do it.
All right.
Well, we might also add that it is in state law that this can be purchased from the county judge as long as the court approves it.
By two-thirds.
By two-thirds of the vote.
By two-thirds.
John?
I was a little bit hesitant just because of public perception. I don't agree with where the assessor appraised it at, because it's more of a consumer type website instead of wholesale. But I did go on some of the wholesale head websites, and the price is still $3,000 or $4,000 under what the judge says. So it's a good deal with the county.
Ms. Farrell?
I feel like it's probably a good idea, but just because of all the possible conflicts, because I think there's more than the usual, I would like, just for the record, some things to be answered. So first I want to talk about why I think it's more than even usual, because first of all, not only is it a county employee, but it's actually the head of the roads department buying a tractor from the head of the roads department, so that makes it even kind of a little further kind of, so for the public to be aware of everything that's going into this. And then also, it's also the head of the roads department is saying that, basically that we can't find a good deal, and then it's the head of the roads department that's saying it's an emergency. So, just to make sure the public is comfortable with it. The ordinance doesn't say the price or the actual hours that the tractor has on it, so it'd be nice to have that publicly stated, and also, it said there was an outside quote, and who was that outside quote from? So whoever here, whether it's the judge himself can answer those questions, that would be helpful just to have it on the record, so we all feel like everything's clear to everybody.
Jim Kelly, could you answer that?
The hours that's on the tractor,
Come up here, please.
the hours that was on the tractor when we originally looked at it, and I think it's been used just a little bit since then, was 943, if I remember, I'm going off memory, and my memory's like Swiss cheese, but, you know, but it's under mid-900s. The reason why we decided to do this is like what was said, Jack said. I drove as far as Rolla, Missouri, trying to find a decent tractor for us to have, so we can mow the sides of these roads, and have also to use it in other things. Folks, they're not out there. If they're on the lot and they're used, they're usually because someone's getting rid of them for a reason. I told the judge, you know, we were talking about it basically when he's come back from Rolla. I said, I don't know if we're going to buy anything. And he was wanting to get out of business, and he shot us a price. Jerry Bradley, the shop foreman, and I, and the judge went to look at these. Jerry's been with me on several of these. And that's what Jerry said when we went out and looked at his. He said, this is far above anything we have looked at.
And can we have publicly stated the price that the county's going to get paid? That's not in the ordinance.
The price that we're going to pay
Yeah.
is $39,000.
Thank you.
Mr. Hicks?
Just want to, I want to let the court know, I thought about this too, and the perception it might have, but what I come back to is, people in this county trust Judge Barr. People in this county have elected Judge Barr for several years. I have no reason not to trust Judge Barr and individuals that work for him, and their opinions on it. So I believe the people of the county, the majority of the county would trust that Judge Barr is decision.
Right.
I'd like to ask our attorney how he feels on this.
So I had some of the same questions that you guys had. Spoke to Ms. Dawes about this. She provided, apparently the state assessor was in and was reviewing some of documents regarding this. They provided the statute, or reviewed the statute. It's got an exemption for unusual circumstances, which I believe this situation would apply. So under these very distinct circumstances, I think that this purchase can go forward. However, that's ultimately up to you guys, but the statute number is 1414-1202, and the unusual circumstances section is 2AI. So under that, I believe that under unusual circumstances, such as what is being spoken about here, that it can go forward.
Anyone else? Chuck?
Number one, we do need a tractor, and we kind of agreed to finance the tractor a couple quotes ago. And I do believe what the judge says and what Mr. Kelly says, that this is a good buy. So I believe that we should
Oh.
Well, our county assessor looks at assessing everything for the county also says it's good.
Anything else out there? With your reason?
Well, that was one of the things when it first mentioned to me, I said, do it all up front on the level. I said, go to our county assessor, have her check out the price, have her make an appraisal on it. She's the one that makes the appraisals on when we're scrapping things or what we're doing. She makes the appraisals on them, so she made the appraisal on this.
John?
The numbers that I found when I looked it up, a tractor that they consider a rough trade, which this tractor is not that, would go for $42,700. A premium tractor, which that would qualify for, goes for $45,000. So again, it's a good buy.
I was gonna say, a lot of people don't know, but you can't compare used tractors with used cars. Your tractors don't lose their value like cars do. That tractors are still retain their value, so cars don't.
Ms. Carroll?
I also did a little bit of research, and I agree, especially when you even consider like shipping costs, like your tractors here, you add into it, getting a tractor from Texas or somewhere, that's why I just really wanted the price publicly stated, and also I did look at the ordinance or the law around this, and it doesn't say much at all except for unusual circumstances, so it leaves us pretty wide open, and we're the ones who get to judge on that, so, I feel pretty comfortable with it myself.
Anyone else? Call for vote?
J.P. Eaton?
Yes.
J.P. Olson?
Yes.
J.P. Carroll?
Yes.
J.P. Johnson?
Yes.
J.P. Phillips?
Yes.
J.P. Hicks?
Yes.
J.P. Mack? Yes. J.P. McNeely?
Yes.
J.P. Hall?
Yes.
J.P. Swafford?
Yes.
J.P. Howard?
Yes.
Next item is E.
Be it resolved that the fourth court of the county of Carroll, state of Arkansas, a resolution entitled, a resolution authorizing the Carroll County judge to execute the necessary documents to renew a line of credit with Equity Bank Carroll. Whereas a line of credit had been previously established approximately 6 years ago with Equity Bank in the name of the Carroll County Airport Commission with a known current balance of $12,140. Whereas said line of credit is maturing on August 25th, 2019, and whereas the Carroll County Airport Commission wishes to renew the note and seeks the approval of the Carroll County Court and the signature of the judge. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Carroll Court of Carroll County, state of Arkansas, that the county judge is authorized to execute the necessary documents to renew the line of credit. The note number is 270025412, whose new maturity date will be August 25th, 2020, with the Equity Bank. It is approved.
Is there a second? Who second? Okay. Any discussion?
As it stated, this is known from several years ago, we're making lots of headway on it. I told some of the budget committee a while ago that there's a little money that they were going to put extra on the note in the near future. They had talked about amounts, but probably in the range of $3,000 or $4,000 on top of the payment, so they're working that to get it paid off.
Anyone else? Call for vote? Ms. Farrell?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't really quite understand what this money is or how it's used. Maybe could you explain a little more? I was kind of trying to figure that out. Like, it's a line of credit, so they've had it for years and they're paying on it. And if we don't extend it, what happens? Or they just have to pay it off?
It will be called due.
Okay. And then, so this is just money that they're slowly paying
I
off?
believe it initially started when they remodeled the main building at their airport. And so they've just been paying it off since.
Anyone else, Jack?
Right. It's not really a line of credit, it's just a bill they owe, I mean, the money they borrowed up front to do this construction, and, once it's paid off, it'll be.
So should it not say line of credit on it?
You know, I really don't know how to come to receive that title.
I don't even.
It was on,
Previous resolution.
2018-09, and that's how it's listed on there, so I just ran it across.
Yes, ma'am?
Does anybody see any problem with us leaving it the same way? I mean, I don't know what we're...
Just passed last year.
Anyone else? Call for vote?
J.P. Eaton?
Yes.
J.P. Olson?
Yes.
J.P. Carroll?
Yes.
J.P. Johnson?
Yes.
J.P. Phillips?
Yes.
J.P. Hicks?
Yes.
J.P. Mack? Yes. J.P.
Next item of business is F. Could you read that, Mr. Conley, please?
A supplemental appropriation ordinance, amending ordinance number 2018-46, the 2019 budget ordinance, and appropriating monies for the county website update.
Chuck?
Move to approve.
Is there a second? Larry, second. Any discussion? Chuck?
Judge, what this is that before the end of the year, an agreement was signed by the county with a group to upgrade our website to the tune of $9,000. It also includes some maintenance. That money was going to be distributed and charged to all the different departments as their part of maintaining the website. So there were several departments that do not have enough revenue at this time because they weren't really aware of the fact that they would be needing to pay for that website upgrading. So then what this ordinance does, it puts money in 4 of the department accounts to cover the $333 line item for the website update.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Who does this website? You know, that sounds like a lot of money to me, I don't know much about it, but.
It's a company called Data Scout, and they're also the same company that does all the work for the assessor's office. They're also the ones that do the mapping program. The mapping program, yeah. Voting program. They've got our voting program, so. And 911 is
Yes, ma'am.
So this includes everything, like if we put the transit link on there, that's not gonna cost us extra, right?
Right.
Included there, any updates, any corrections?
Yeah, actually, I put, because it's been redone, I'm sorry, yeah. Since it's been redone, we now have the equalization board application on there. We've got employee information that will be going on there for as far as their forms and different things like that to make it more user-friendly. All 4 court meetings are put on there, committee meetings are put on there, job openings, if I get that information, we put on there. So it's become a lot more user-friendly with what the county employees need and what the county needs as a whole to get information out.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote.
J.P. Deaton?
Yes.
J.P. Olson?
Yes.
J.P. Carroll?
Yes.
J.P. Johnson?
Yes.
J.P. Phillips?
Yes.
J.P. Hicks?
Yes.
J.P. Mack? Yes. J.P. McNeely?
Yes.
J.P. Paul?
Yes.
J.P. Swafford?
Yes.
J.P. Howard?
Yes.
And now we'll go to G. Larry, do you have something to say on that?
Well, the Personnel Committee and Finance Committee had to say that they were, probably want to throw out there to Quorum Court what we're looking at as far as replacing Mr. Santana. We can get him to stay, but that's not possible, so we're going to have to replace him. And we've been a long time without having what we need overseeing all the radio. We're looking at if we've talked over different ideas, and one of the ideas that Personnel Committee is probably going to make a recommendation on it, the judge's final decision on who he's hired for position. But we can determine the positions, I think. We don't think that we're going to be able to find somebody to do what we need to do in the $25,000 to $30,000 period. If we're going to have to pay somebody, you're going to get what you pay for. So we're going to have to get on up our ways and pay somebody, and to do that, Personnel Committee feels that we need to combine the Office of Emergency Management. And me and Sam don't agree 100% on this, but we're offering this up for discussion to see what everybody thinks about it. It's nobody after anybody else. We think we need to combine that job, we have an Office of Emergency Management, because for one thing, that person will have to have an office, he'll have to have a vehicle drive, which is one thing the Office of Emergency Management doesn't have. Office of Emergency Management doesn't have a budget. So we're looking at combining the two. We've been paying Sam, now I'm just using the figure in the neighborhood of $20,000 a year. We've been paying Nick $20,000 a year. That'll give us $40,000 to go towards this position, if we combine the two together. And that is what the Personnel Committee's recommendation is going to be. Now, whether that's what happens or not, but that's all we've been asked to do is give a recommendation.
Mr. Hicks?
If we were to combine the two, which I'm not against combining, would we lose a good employee like this family? That's a concern I have, because, Nick, in my opinion, is a very good employee, and could do both jobs, but he's also the fire chief of Greenville, so I don't know if he can do so.
Right.
I might say one other thing, and then I'll be quiet. We did, this is not to try to get rid of Nick in any way, because I asked the judge if he thought that Nick would be interested in the job, and if he was, we'd like to have him. But he said he didn't think he would. Now, that may have changed or something, but.
John?
To piggyback off that a little bit, times have changed, we're gonna have to change positions to meet what we need now. And as Larry spoke to, we don't have funds to do it, it won't take the time, I don't believe, to do just that job. So we need to combine them, and again, we're gonna have to pay more money. So,
John?
Do you have a job description of what Sam used to do to apply to?
We've got one that Sam has given us that we're using that, and we will sit down and draw up the job description. But we need to have an idea of how we need to go forward with it, or how Sam wants to go forward with it. Because now, Sam has options saying, I don't like your recommendation, I'm going to go hire somebody, and that's his. But you've asked us for a recommendation, and that's what it is.
Mr. Hicks?
I said, I'm all for it, but, I'm wondering, does this have to be a position to take before? Or if we have a guy like me saying, could he do it on his own time, once he gets hours in? That's another consideration, but Nick can do both jobs, it's whether he will or not. I don't know if it has to be an 8-to-4 person. And I'm gonna think it would have to be, because it would be nice to have somebody that could go to dispatch in the evenings and look at radio problems.
Check calendar.
It could be
Ms. Kelly?
Maybe we could get a job description drawn up and then just approach it, I mean, for this, so we can, anybody
And I also like to hear the judge talk.
Anybody? Don?
The one before, the council, like Sam, to a cost of stop more money than $45 a year. That's what that was.
Ms. Farrell?
I'd like to know, aside from the issue of possibly losing a valuable employee, or combined, is there any other arguments against combining them? And, Judge, if you want to answer that, I'd appreciate if you'd answer your response to that, and anyone else about it.
I will, and judge's comments. What?
A lot of counties already has this position. A lot of the counties our size, the OEM coordinator also takes care of radios and dispatching all the time too. I'm looking at it, we're all in here to try to spend the taxpayers' money as most efficient as we can. And right now, we was using Sam Ward, we was going to pay him mileage on his vehicle. Sam really, per se, didn't have an office to work out. The OEM coordinator's already got a vehicle, he's already got an office. The state reimburses us for part of his salary. He's already got a budget established for supplies and all this, and maintenance and everything else. So I think it's best, I don't know if it'd be possible to fill this job and the fire chief and Rick at the same time. I've been in this position, it would be almost impossible to do. It would be offered to him. I don't know whether he could be the chief and do this is gonna be a full-time job, that, writing grants and everything else that the OEM coordinator does besides the radio work too. But I think that's our only option, is spending the money as wisely as possible, is trying to combine these two offices and go from there.
One more time, Ms. Killen, and I think we'll move on.
Okay, I called about 6 different counties that was, where she go, she gave me a list of counties our side. And I called about 6 different ones, and they all had the same, they all said the same thing, they combined both of those, and they pay, it was average mid-30s, is what they, all of them was paying. And that was different counties that was considered our size. So Disposition was just.
Thank you. JP, comments? Non-agenda items, Matt?
The hospitals have a 50th year anniversary on September 15th. The hospital, Mercy, is having a 50th anniversary get-together at the hospital from 1 to 4 on September 15th. And they would like to invite the Quorum Court and the public to attend.
Come on up. Chuck?
We signed a contract with Harness Roofing to reseal and recoat the outside of the building. I talked to Harness the other day. They have not been over here yet, but we are on their schedule. I asked them when are we on their schedule. They said they'd get right back to me, and they haven't. So I will call them again tomorrow and get it to you, because I'd like to know when they are constructing.
Anyone else? Chuck?
You haven't been down to, excuse me, Connie's office, we're pretty much done, and it looks much better. I think there's an issue still yet on the door. Did you check and see on that?
I remember when I walked in the building.
I couldn't find my invoice, but we still need to put a closure on that emergency exit door over there. And, but if you get a chance to come down and look at that, it looks a lot better down there.
Anyone else? Well, I guess it's not. You know, there's a lot of discussion on moving OEM and also running 911, which the law book says 911 belongs to the county judge. And also hiring somebody that's qualified as a technician. I'm just a country boy, but I can't see how one man can do OEM, 911, and technician work. What if he gets called out on a search? Who's going to be there? In my mind, it tells me that you're going to have to pay this man probably somewhere around $100,000 to $120,000 a year. Well, if he can't leave 911 to go do a search, tells me he's going to have some men under him, which will bring on more wages. And when you pay somebody over $100,000 a year, more than the elected officials are drawing, and I'm not complaining about my wages. It'll be like a earthquake, the aftershock, you're not going to like it. And then that aftershock, if you pass that, I sure wish you'd give them your phone number instead of mine. Because I don't want to be that busy. Nothing else. I thank you all for coming. Look for a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Y'all have a good evening. Thank you.